Okay. Hi,
Hi,
Sheherzade.
how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
How has the lockdown COVID period been for you?
It's been quite a journey, I
Mhm.
guess, with its ups and downs, but I think coming out of it, I'm definitely stronger, better than before.
More
So
productive?
overproductivity can also be a problem.
Mhm.
So I think I'm more balanced, I guess, than before.
Mhm.
So yeah.
That's better than most people coming out of it.
Yeah,
I feel
is it?
people coming out of it a bit like not so.
Yeah, I mean, how has it been for you?
It's been good for me because
Yeah.
I wasn't in complete lockdown.
Okay.
So I was still a little bit like out and about. Not like meeting people, but generally out and about. But I've been meeting a few people recently who have literally been inside their houses for the last like 6 months.
Okay.
And you can tell they haven't talked to anyone for a while.
Yeah, that was me. That was me too. Like, I was seeing a friend after 5 months, 6 months, and I was so overwhelmed because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say to you. Like,
Yeah.
what will I do? How will I sit? How will I stand? Where will I look? So that is
You
definitely.
completely forget how to interact with other human beings.
You don't know how to human.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show, how, I mean, you can't take anything for granted, and human beings can get used to pretty much anything. So I don't know, I guess that reinforces the fact that growth happens outside of your comfort zone, you
Yeah.
know, because you get used to things and you don't question them.
Yeah, we just need a global pandemic to grow.
Yeah, just a global pandemic, nothing big.
But otherwise, everything's been fine.
Yeah,
Other than
everything.
the pandemic.
Other than the change.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, I feel like the past few years, maybe it's just the fact that, I don't know, I've started transitioning into adulthood. Maybe it's that, like, I started seeing that perhaps the world was too fast paced and it was not healthy, and this kind of a thing was bound to happen. If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. Like, everything was just reaching this crescendo, like a tipping point. So something had to give. And it's terrible to say this, but I think it's true. I think the world needed a wake-up call. And as harsh as it was, this was it,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how much is going to change, to be honest. It feels like everyone's just desperate to go back to how things were, which makes sense.
It's like knowing the truth. You can do whatever you want with it. Doesn't mean you're going to change, but you're still going to know.
Yeah. You're still aware of it
Yeah.
in the back of your head.
Or wo awareness pehle nahi thi.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's how I see it. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, you're not a musician, and this is meant to be a musician's podcast.
No, I'm not a musician. I just sing when I'm on my own.
But the reason is that I've found that after doing a few musician interviews is that everyone ends up saying very, very similar stuff.
Yeah.
And the complaints happen to be the same. And,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's bring some artists and different people.
I'm so happy you guys reached out, because I actually discovered your page a few hours or a day before you messaged, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And there were so many M's before the Mosiki.
Just didn't find
And
it.
I was like, what? Ye kya hai? How do I pronounce this? And my brother was like, Mosiki hai, kya ho gaya? And I was like, okay, I get it.
But instead of, you might not be a musician, but you are an actress, a comedian,
Yes.
and a fitness instructor, kind of.
Yeah. Very strange combination, right?
And are you an I word?
A what?
Influencer?
I mean, so that's the thing. Like, I get this a lot. Do you identify as an... I mean, I think that with the platform comes the influence. So, I mean, even if you don't identify as an influencer, you are influencing people. So might as well take responsibility for your influence and acknowledge the fact that, yes, I am influencing such and such a group of people, because then you are more mindful as well about what you put out there, rather than being, oh no, I just have a lot of followers and I don't care how I influence people, because that's not fair, right? You can't ignore the fact that people are looking towards you for something,
That's strange. I usually hear people arguing it the other way.
Really?
That, I have followers, but they're here for me, so I'm just going to be myself.
But it is a part of being yourself. Like, for instance, I will only promote brands or work with brands that I've actually used or that I actually identify with, because I wouldn't want anyone to use a product or, I don't know, avail a service that I vouched for but I never used myself, because that's unfair, you know.
Right.
So that's my philosophy. That keeps me closest to myself and what I identify with. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So you are an influencer then?
I don't know.
A proud flag-waving influencer?
The word has become, especially when the pandemic started, there were all these articles on down with the influencers, and I was like, no, I'm not. But
it's because the celebrities were in their houses and they were like, oh, you should stay home and be safe. And it's like, you live in a massive mansion. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
And they were trying to be influencers from home. And it's like, I'm not listening to you anymore.
Yeah.
But influencer has become a very dirty word recently.
It has, and I'm just like, when someone asks me, I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? So
you start sweating.
I'm like, oh my god, the I word. That's why you said the I word. I was like, what I word?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But what about comedy? Like I want to go to that first, because that's the most interesting. Because I have no idea of the comedy world.
Okay.
Especially in Pakistan.
It's funny. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I always find that it's funny whenever I talk to a comedian. It's like, the first time you must have been on stage. Did you bomb the first time you went on?
Actually, I didn't.
I'm sure you did.
No, I did. People were laughing. I thought I would. That's why I didn't tell anyone that I was doing this. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't invite anyone to my show.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I was like, this is just gonna suck. Like, I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna do it and we'll see what happens. And it went really well. Like, as in, my benchmark was so low also because I had never done this. So I was like, okay, people are laughing. They like it. And then we decided to do another show. And I was like, okay, maybe I can call people to this. So it went well, surprisingly. I wasn't expecting it to.
Yeah.
But
you prepared a set for it and everything was fully, or is it improvisational? Or?
So I lean more towards improv. Like, I'll have themes for a show and then I'll just, kind of go with that. But that's become my comfort zone now. So now I'm trying to encourage myself to write more, like prepare stuff more so that it can be streamlined and made better. And I even took this online writing course during the pandemic. I mean, it's
How to be funny?
Yeah, how to be funny 101.
Being funny for dummies. Yeah.
No, it was called Writing Satire for the Internet. So it was more like for these, for instance, The New Yorker has this section called Shouts and Murmurs. It's a whole satire section. So this was for writers who want to get published. So it was a bit different from stand-up, but I am going to mold what I wrote for that class into hopefully a stand-up set.
Right.
So it really taught me different tools for writing, because I was a very desi todka kind of comedian ke bas kar lo, no method type. And that can take you only so far. Then you want to grow, you want to improve. So yeah.
And the other way of improving your craft is just by getting on stage and doing it again and again.
Definitely, which I actually didn't realize for the longest time. Like, I kept thinking, I'll work on it, and then it'll be perfect. And then I was like, no, like comics perform that one set over and over and over again.
Right.
And what you see in their Netflix special is, a
year of practice of that material.
And even maybe more than a year. So much goes into that. And that's why it looks so effortless also, because I've done it so many times.
Yeah. So, but you don't have that chance to do that here, right? Because I often think of the comedian circuit, even in India, I think it's coming up a lot now, right?
Yeah.
Their stand-up scene is really good.
They're even on Netflix.
Yeah.
And not even 1 hour specials, like 15 minutes.
Achha.
वो भी लगे हैं उनके. I was like, wow, yeah. Matlab ke.
It's really doing well there.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because they have like constant venues where these up-and-coming comedians can cut their teeth on these and actually bomb again and again and again, which is why I want a bomb story from you. You must have gone on being like, oh my god, this is the worst. Like, just have to get through it.
Not with... Actually, maybe not with comedy. Okay, I don't know, like... So my thing is, I go up and I'm like, agar log has le to good for them. Agar
If not,
na has le to good for them. Like,
okay.
I'm just like, I've even cracked a joke. I'm like, you guys paid for this. Like, you might as well laugh. You know? I mean, mujhe nahi farak padta because I'm going to be doing it anyway, you know? I like this. So, the fact that they're there is on them. I mean, I'd love to make them laugh. But if they don't, then don't laugh, you know? So, I didn't bomb, but there was one bomb-esque story with regards to theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I was performing in this play called Date Night in Karachi 3 years ago. And I had this pair of sunglasses that was very integral to the plot. Like, I had to have those sunglasses on. And I had to enter from inside the audience, so I wasn't backstage. And so basically, I used to get this one series of laughs at this one dialogue that I said. And when I'd get those laughs, my nerves would be calm and I'd be like, okay, I got this. But I used to I needed to hear those. And wo ek intensity wali, you know? So I was like waiting for that. Second day of my performance, the props department changed my pair of sunglasses. I didn't think too much about it. I'm going up on stage and I'm supposed to be singing in a really funny way and I'm like dancing and stuff, and then like I look at the audience and I'm like, something's different. What is it? And then I'm like, oh my god, my sunglasses are not on my face. They had flown off fallen somewhere. Oh my, and I couldn't.
So you can see them all now.
I could see them. And they could see me, and like I needed them.
Yeah.
So I had,
before it was completely black.
Yeah, like pretty dark. So you know, and
yeah.
it took me a second. You know, ye kya hua hai? So then I had to keep singing and look for the glasses, and they were under somebody's seat.
Right.
And I was really mad. Like, I was really upset because I didn't like the intensity of the laughs was half.
No.
Half.
But that can't be because of the glasses. Was it just because you were feeling like you were...
Because the thing is, ek lyric hoti thi, and I used to sing it in a really funny way. But there was more time that passed before the lyric because I was spending it looking for the glasses. So wo delay aa gaya. The comic timing was off. So when I did the lyric, it was half the laughs. And I was just like, no.
Then how was the rest of the play?
It was great according to my director. I was like, nahin, you're just saying this because you're my director. And he's like, no, you did the right thing. You looked for the glasses because I was thinking that maybe you were going to leave them in the audience and ruin the rest of the play. Because
they're so integral for your character.
They were, because I was kind of hiding. Like, I was like, it was my, kya kehte hain? It was my disguise.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that was...
Yeah.
It was bad. It was really bad.
But not as a comedian on stage. You've generally had good experiences.
Yeah, and now I'm scared that the next time I perform, I'm gonna be like, I have the bomb story.
Everyone needs one.
Yeah, I guess. No, I've done how many shows? 10 to kiye honge.
Acha.
Haan.
I mean, that's quite.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, it'd be ideal to do like way more, right?
Yeah, but I just feel like either it's the venue, then the audience. Like, I feel like, especially with Auratnak, it's a great platform, but we have a niche audience.
Can you explain what Auratnak is quickly?
So Auratnak is an all-female stand-up comedy troupe, and there are 3 chapters, Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad. And yeah, it's just a group.
How many people are there?
In the Lahore chapter, I think we're about 12 women. Sure. And Karachi is probably the biggest chapter. So, yeah.
Have you played in multiple cities?
No, we haven't. We wanted to go to Islamabad, but we were unable to. But the Islamabadis have performed here. And I think the Karachi chapter has as well.
Because I was just about to ask if different cities have different audiences.
I mean, technically they do. But the thing is, if it's an Auratnak audience, how different is it, you know? Okay. So, I think you also reach a saturation point in terms of audience, because at one point it became a lot of the same people coming to the shows, which is okay. That's also part of building a following. But I just think that it would be great to have bigger shows as well. But I don't know, I mean, the way things are over here, just in terms of, you know, how the scene is already.
Yeah.
And how people view comedy and women in comedy and stuff, the general notion. It's something you have to chip away at, you know, it doesn't go away.
Yeah, it doesn't go overnight.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in London, there was a comedy night in Angel, and it was a pretty famous one, but it was free every like Wednesday or something like this.
Okay.
And I used to go out fairly regularly because it was right next to my office, and just the amount of cringe you would experience just watching like clearly newer comedians going up there, and you just be like, oh my god, like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
But then you're like, these are gonna be these are the next comedians, right?
Yeah.
Like they have to go through this process.
That's
I feel
true.
incredibly sorry for them, but you know, they have to do this.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. You can even see them like their hands shaking with the paper. But
it's bad.
that's the process, I guess. And that's what we need here if we want stand-up comedy to grow.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah. If we want it to grow, then we have to have these venues where people can go and just keep going,
Yeah,
cut their
like
teeth.
it should be very frequent, you know? And I also feel like I know ke bahir people, there are comedy clubs where people are also like eating and drinking and watching comedy. They're still paying attention. Over here, somehow that doesn't work. I don't know if it's the attention span or...
They're not paying attention?
No, like it's very distracting. Like food is coming, people are talking, and then it's not, I don't know. I like it when it's in a closed space and it's like a performance and everyone's just watching the comedian.
Right.
It's less distracting somehow. So I don't know, maybe that's a Pakistani thing. I don't know what it is.
Are you planning more comedy in the future?
So
Stand-up.
we hopefully have a show coming up in October. And it's gonna be like a 1 hour 10-minute thing with like 6 performers. But I definitely want to work on a 1 hour thing, like just me. That's a lot of time.
That's a long time, yeah.
It's a lot of time. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but that's the goal, right? Because you know, it should be a whole narrative.
Yeah. Who are your favorite comedians? Do you have any people that you...
I don't have favorites, but I do really, really enjoy Dave Chappelle's comedy. He's just so unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like he really appeals to the part of me that does not really care about anything that anyone thinks about what I think.
Right.
Yeah. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So I really like, I don't know how he got to that point of just, you know, this is me, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Because it's great in a special, but I wonder what his day-to-day life is like, you know, because that's very different from a show. Because once you show the world who you are, then that's who you are, and that's how people view you, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't that terrify you as being an influencer? Where so many people look at you and they're like, oh, this is...
Not as an influence. I think that whole debate is about the realization where you kind of know that a part of your life is not just yours.
Yeah.
You shared with an
That's
audience.
terrifying. That's awful.
No, it's because an artist needs an audience.
Sure.
You know?
But not...
No,
as in, but an audience that takes something away from you? That's kind of scary.
They don't take anything away from you, but they arrive at your art with their own views of it. And I think that's what makes art something that's so organic, in the sense that it's always growing and changing. It's not perfect. And that's the essence of it, because it's like nature, you know, it's constantly evolving.
Right.
And that's how it should be. And even, I think Asim Abbasi tweeted about this or something. He said something along the lines of, Churels doesn't just belong to him anymore, it belongs to the audience. And that's so true, because it can't be just the director's vision or the actor's vision. It's a collective experience, you know.
But you've had like a pretty direct experience this, because Baji Bombastic was a character you made, and most people came
Came at me.
Came
at me.
through that character, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you find it weird that they thought that you were her?
Yeah. And some people were like, I got these messages and they're like, no, I don't believe it. No,
Really?
why did you do this?
You fraud.
Why did you do this? And I'm like, what did I do?
It must feel good as an actress to be like, I'm good enough that you all fooled you.
And some people are like, hame kyun bataya? You should have not told us. And I'm like, what do you want? You want me to live
As
a life?
Baji.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. But
Yeah.
it's interesting to have like an alter ego that people know before you.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
So don't you feel weird being yourself in front of those people?
I mean,
Which one feels like the act?
I feel like I'm disappointing them.
Right.
You know, like I'm so sorry, but this is she.
Yeah.
Like, I was at packages once, and this group of girls, they kept looking at me, and I knew what they were thinking. I was just like, okay, they're gonna look, then they're gonna talk, then one of them's gonna take out the phone and be like, nahi ye wohi hai, and then they're gonna come up to me. So I knew how this was gonna play out, and then they finally came and they're like, aap suffering wali hai. And I'm like, that one line is just, it rings true on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, gee, and they're like, हमें नहीं पता था कि आप असल में ऐसी हैं. And they were like, we didn't know कि आप इतनी छोटी हैं, because I'm really short. So they were just like, ये क्या हो रहा है?
Yeah, there's no rulers on Instagram.
Yeah, literally. So
That's crazy because it's such a weird experience to have a character be the main way people approach you, and then you're just like, no.
It felt like a social experiment because Baji is so different and I'm so my personality online is less developed than Baji's personality online.
Right,
you know?
right.
So it really felt like a social experiment. And it's quite interesting.
Yeah. What was the main thing? Did you learn anything from it? Were you...
I mean, a lot of comments that I initially started getting on my pictures and stuff were along the lines of, where is your dupatta?
Right.
And I was just like... And then people just always wanted to call me Baji. And they're like, be Baji. And I was like, that's really sweet. That's why I made a separate profile for her so that I'm just like, you can go talk to Baji over there, you know? So...
The suffering video is the one that went crazy viral, right?
Yeah, and the cappuccino.
And the cappuccino one?
Yeah, that one.
Which one went viral first? Both of them at
the
same time?
suffering one, because I made that first. I made that in Hunza.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
That caught me by surprise,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's...
What is that? Yeah.
As in, like, because I didn't know what your content was.
Okay.
Not that I didn't expect you to be funny.
and it's so funny because I've been doing this character for so long, and I'd performed in Aurat Nak with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Okay.
she had been, meeting the public for a little while before that. So when it went viral, I was like, that's very strange. So, and it was funny because we were going out for a trek and my friends were like, jaldi karo. And I was like, nahi, ek second, I have to do this. So, yeah, you never know.
I want to come back to Baji, but I just want to cut the camera first.
Okay, yeah,
before it
sure.
cuts. So yeah, Baji.
Baji, the B word.
The B word. There's one interesting question I wanted to ask you because I heard some, I wouldn't call it criticism. Oh shit, you've heard this before.
I've heard everything. I've read everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you hear?
I mean, you must know what I'm about to say.
No.
But it's the fact that Baji is this kind of working class woman, I guess you could say. And it's someone, using or taking on that persona. Personally, I don't agree with the criticism.
Okay. It's okay if you do.
I know.
We're all entitled to
This is
our own
safe space.
Yeah, okay.
But there's also a lot of other people who do this. Manu. Muru does
Amanullah, yeah.
Someone, massive YouTuber.
Okay, no. Zaid Ali T? No.
Oh yeah, he does.
He does Rahim Pardesi?
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does
Nasreen.
Nasreen, yeah.
No, there's Fazluddin. Who's Fazluddin?
Okay, no. I haven't watched his videos.
Yeah, what's the name of this guy? Sorry, it's gonna annoy me.
Oh, no.
Ducky Bhai uska saath phada hua tha. No?
No.
Okay,
no.
never mind.
Okay.
But he also has a character called Fazaluddin, who's this
Okay.
kind of simpleton sort of character.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a class thing or whatever, but what do you think about that argument of it, which is...
So the thing is, I really do appreciate when people voice whatever concerns they have, because I just feel like I said,
Sure.
I mean, art is a means for opening a discourse, right? To discuss things. And if people don't talk to you about your art, then it exists in a vacuum and it's static and
True.
it's not growing. And you are so used to your own art and your own self that you may not see it from a different lens, which it's important to shift perspective and stuff.
Sure.
So whatever kind of criticism comes my way, I try to use it in a way that helps me. So with regard to that, I will say that, Baji's online presence is very limited compared to the shows that I've done with Baji. Like, the way people who've seen her online, they know her very differently from how an actual live audience knows her. Which really, so for instance, people's assumption that she is just, a working class woman and she doesn't know stuff, that is kind of on them, because never have I even insinuated it or something.
Right.
I mean, if somebody attended a show, for instance, they will know that Baji actually has a political party of her own. She has a fashion design business of her own.
Mm-hmm.
She has a housing society of her. She's like the OG businesswoman, if anything, you know? So that is something that was a very big assumption on people's part, which was maybe valid because they hadn't seen the rest of what the character had to offer. So I would say that Instagram is not a sufficient enough platform to explore the complexity of the character. And watching one video, like sometimes people have formed their opinions by just seeing one or two videos, which is unfair because you don't read one Harry Potter book and have an opinion on the whole series, you know? Yeah. So I've never read a Harry Potter book.
Evidently.
So never ever. That was my brother's job. He read those books. So that's what I'm saying, you know? You can't take one part of something and be like, I know what this is. Which is, don't you think it's a problem on the internet that everybody is an expert on everything?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God.
That's why I can't be on Twitter. I'm just like, I can't be here.
Like, no.
People are mental.
You are not entitled to your own opinion. I'm sorry.
Not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, or at least if you do have an opinion, at least have the self-awareness to know that you don't know everything.
Yeah, and it's not the only opinion,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you said in an interview that you've been doing Baji since you were 10 years old, I think I
Yeah,
heard
8.
8, sorry.
Yeah. You know.
Didn't do my research.
2 years. You missed out.
But so it's kind of an organic thing for you.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just, perhaps the way that I feel connected to the character, maybe I was like, guys, maybe some of it is lost in translation. Maybe I'm being unable to.
Did you get a lot of criticism for it? Or is this a vocal minority? Or is it not even a vocal minority?
I don't know. Like, I read things every now and then. I'm just like, acha, like, theek hai. Why don't you do it? Why don't you get up on stage and do this in front of 200 people? Like, be my guest. Let's see how you fare. You know? What can you do? Because if you get caught up in the noise, then, you know, then you're never going to create anything. So... And
this isn't directly linked to Baji at all, but it's like generally when we talk about... I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a weird thing where you talk about class boundaries and you're like, oh, so I'm just meant to stay in my own class boundary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, I don't know, it's weird, I guess. There's different arguments, but... I
get... The thing is, I feel like... maybe this is just me, but as an artist, as an actress, I don't see boundaries the way people do, maybe in terms of the human story, because at the end of the day, it's about feeling connected, and human emotions are universal. So class and all these different kinds of things don't disallow me from taking on another persona, because you know,
why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, we're not all separate. We're all part of a whole, thing, and we're supposed to identify with each other and feel empathy and feel something.
And there is a line to tread, right? But
Yeah.
the way that you talk about Baji now, it's clear that you have some, like, you feel pretty connected to her. You're like, you treat her like a different character who's at her own thing.
She's a person.
Yeah.
And also it's satire.
Yeah, it's not
And
that
people
serious.
people
Yeah.
need to look it
We don't need to write dissertations about this.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. But that's also the interesting thing about comedy in general is that something that interests me a lot, because obviously we were at Mango Bars. We've even been at one of the first videos that I ever did at Mango Bars as a DOP. You were in it.
Was it?
It was
Which one was it?
when single guys.
The Magnum one.
The Magnum one.
Oh,
That didn't get
No, it was. I've seen it.
No, but it wasn't. Magnum pulled out at the last minute. They were like, "This is bad."
Why have I seen it then?
No, we put it up, but we just removed their branding.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Probably because I shot it, and they were like, "What the?" But yeah.
Okay.
But the thing about comedy is that it's a surrender, right? If you make someone laugh, you kind of strip away all their defenses, and that's how you can kind of introduce new things, new ideas.
Yeah.
This is why Dave Chappelle is so crazily effective.
And he is also so controversial.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he's just saying stuff, and if he makes you laugh, he knows that that's his in.
His in. And it's trial and error, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever see comedy in that kind of aspect? Do you ever try and influence? Do you ever try and like introduce people to ideas or like be political with it, act in some way, because you know that that's
I think
a vehicle?
at the end of the day, everything is political in some sort of fashion. I do try to introduce people to different ideas, but I don't know if they catch on to them. I also feel like over here, or I don't know, maybe I'm not as vocal as I'd like to be, and I think that that's a process in and of itself, because when you're as vocal as you want to be, you're out there. You're literally like, hello world, this is me. And that's a big decision to take on, because the world is not silent. The world is going to be like, here we are too. So, I would like to be more vocal. Maybe that's my own process, I guess. With time, I'll be able to introduce people to more ideas that they should be thinking of.
And through comedy as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any other characters and stuff that you're wanting to explore?
I have this character called Burger Bachchi, and she's just a burger.
Wait, that's
bachchi.
just you, isn't it? No,
Yeah, it's just me, you know. I'm this.
Wait, you've been in character the whole time. Yeah.
So there's Burger Bachchi, and then there's Tammy Auntie. It's just you know how it is. So there's those two right now.
Nice.
There's also this dude, but I don't have a name for him yet, and I haven't like performed as the dude on Instagram or anything yet. So let's see.
So you're doing multiple different things. You're an actress, comedian, and fitness. I think you do some fitness on the side as well.
Yeah. So
or maybe not on the side.
I'm a Pilates instructor.
Right.
And that's just something that I was really interested in, and I thought, why not just gain all the knowledge that there is to gain. So that is something. And then I'm also doing voiceovers here and there, and then I'm also working part-time. So it's like it's a lot.
Are you going to focus on anything? Are you planning to?
Are you just going to be a rolling stone that is gathering no moss?
That's also good. No? It's good to be a jack of all trades, I think.
Master of none.
Well, I left that second bit out.
Yeah. No, the thing is, I'm also at that point in my career/life where I want to try different things to see exactly what I like and what I don't like. Also because with some things you can't know unless you try. You know what I mean? And I think as a creative, you also need other things on the side to just keep your mind engaged, to give you like a routine and stuff. Because if you're completely left to your creative pursuits, you need to be tied down by something to have a burst of creativity as
completely.
well. You know? So
if you're only doing artsy projects that you like doing, passion projects,
you're just in the clouds.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I decided to start working part-time and stuff, just to keep me to keep my mind working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what about the acting? How are you?
So with regards to that, I'm working on a short film. We're gonna shoot it in October, hopefully. It's an interesting project. Other than that, I'm not working on any serials or anything yet. Hopefully in the future, when things get a little better around here. So I'm so tired of waiting for things to get better. If it's 2020, like just
Forget about it.
Or just don't think that things are gonna play out in the rational order of things. Like things are gonna happen when they're gonna happen. You know what I mean? So.
But what's your thoughts about the industry in general? I mean, that sounds pessimistic. Are you a pessimist?
I'm not a pessimist. I try to be like a realist. I don't know. I try to take different perspectives into account and then form my opinion. And one thing I think in any situation, it's important to be grateful. Like just at the end of the day, just take a minute and be like, I'm grateful for everything that I have, my 2 eyes, my hands, my health, my home, So that really keeps you sane, and it keeps you kind of peaceful, are you agreeing? Did you feel that? Or
did you see my eyes glaze over?
Yeah, you were just like, I don't know. And she's not,
sometimes I think this positivity talk, which is good. I think everyone does need to you should definitely be grateful.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing.
I don't know. I feel like there's something there.
No, it's just sometimes self-help talks makes me feel like, oh shit, I should be grateful. Oh shit, I haven't been grateful.
Okay.
I should be feeling good, whereas I feel like shit most of the time, which is like a standard default position, which is fine. I think also it's fine to be like, it sucks.
No, but that's why I think that it's so important for the modern human to make these things a part of the modern human in this modern world. Yeah. So as Martians, we have to make these things a part of our lives. Okay, at the end of every day, I'm gonna take those 5 minutes and I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm gonna name things that I'm grateful for.
Do you do that?
I do that.
Yeah.
I had to start doing that because it really makes you realize that in the real world, like this, so the world is just everybody's individual perception. In actual objective reality, there are no real problems. Like there are no actual real problems. It's just the meanings we've attached through different perceptions के अभी मेरे पास ये नहीं है, जब मेरे पास ये होगा तो फिर ये होगा, फिर मेरी problem चली जाएगी. That's perception.
Sure.
It's not an objective reality. So our perceptions...
There are some objective reality issues. No?
But those are very few. Those can be linked to like survival, basic human needs. Those are there, but
for the best, for
the developing world, there are many harsh realities, objective realities that do exist. But above and beyond that, the problems that most of us face, it can also be the fact that we don't take a moment to just be grateful. And not ke, I'm grateful, to be like, I'm grateful for my right hand, my left. Like, actually pinpoint
you do that?
those. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because some days I'm like, nah, I had a bad day. Like, I'm not feeling. And then I'm like,
thanks,
no.
Dude.
I'm 5 things I'm grateful for: my right hand, my left hand, my eyes, my 2 legs. 5 things ho gayi.
Nice.
You know? So
does it work?
It works. Like, I do feel like, oh my God, like, I have this and someone out there doesn't.
Right.
And I still, and every day 5 चीजें तो आपकी हो जाती हैं. There's so many more.
If you manage to last the day with all your 5 limbs.
Or if you don't have, you have something else, you have your senses, you have, I don't know, family, you have a roof over your head.
Yeah.
You have water, like, you have 5 things at least to be grateful for every day.
That's a nice way to look at things, I guess.
Yeah, and it's something that's so sustainable. Like, I don't have to go anywhere to be grateful. I can just sit wherever and just be grateful. And it's great.
You sound like quite a spiritual person.
I am, actually. I feel like one of the basic needs that people have are to feel connected and to feel heard. And whether I do that through, I don't know, art, or whether through fitness, it's my basic aim. Like, I feel like the reason I'm here on this planet is to connect people and to make them feel heard and understood, and to make people realize that we're not just individuals, we're a collective, and we affect each other. And that's why, like, for instance, if I'm driving and I'm at a traffic light and I see a beggar come to my window, he is essentially a reflection of me in some way, because there is a reason that he is there and I am here. Like, I have even if it's 0.001% responsibility in him being where he is, that is my responsibility.
Right, as a fellow human.
So then I realized, oh my God, we're all connected. Like, this person's misery is related to me in some way. So I just feel like not enough people realize how connected we are. And I think that if we did, we would be better people. You know?
But you also have like this internet persona, which is for me anyway, the internet is like false connectedness. You have this social media.
There are degrees of it,
but it's not social, right? We don't talk to anyone really.
Not.
Everyone is behind an account that you're kind of catapulting things out of your own little account or whatever. So from that kind of connectedness where you can see someone outside your car window and you can be like, I feel connected to them.
Yeah.
To going on the internet and having this other life, other persona. How do you square those two things? Do you feel like the internet removes your connectedness?
I think that there are many things that the internet you cannot express online, or even if you... So I think there's this crazy inherent need to be authentic, and that word is just so ruined. It's just like, oh my God, that's so authentic. And I'm like, oh my God, let's stop talking, you know? So everyone is trying so hard to be real that there is something just so fake about it that it's almost eerie. It's scary how real we are online. It's like, oh my God, stop, you know? And so the way that I bridge those two together is perhaps just all, like, in terms of just the usage, like using social media, I use it when I want to. Like, there are times when I've been gone from Instagram for four months. Like, I'm just gone, because if I don't want to be there, then why should I be? You know, I'm not going to go to a social gathering that I don't want to be at. I'm just going to stand in the corner. Why would I do that online, you know? So I think using it sparingly, having time when I'm not on it, and not expecting the world from it either. You know, it's there. It's not there. It's not there. You know what I mean? Not having it as this integral, irreplaceable part of my life. Like, I'm at one point, I am grateful that so many people have connected to me, and I'm grateful for that community. But I believe that that's a community that I can't lose, whether or not I'm online or offline. You know, it's there. Lose. I can't lose, because if I have a show, people can come to that. Or, you know, like, if it's a connection, it can't be lost whether or not I'm active online. I'd like to believe that it's that way, because otherwise you're stuck in a rut. You're trying to maintain a following, which just sounds a little ridiculous, you know? Because
but that's most of content creation today. No, it's about consistency. You have to be putting out video. You have to be in the you know, public eye for this.
You know, we're slaves to the algorithm.
Oh yeah, completely.
That's not how it should be. Like, I have to prove to a robot that I'm not a robot. Like, I spent 3 minutes verifying my Gmail yesterday, clicking, you know, these bicycle pictures and boxes, trying to prove to a robot that I'm just like, no, take your Gmail. I don't want it. It's ridiculous.
But you still did it, right?
I did it.
You did still prove to Mr. Robot.
I did, and it's... Black Mirror is happening. It's here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the internet is this completely false, awful place now. I don't find any solace in it at all.
Yeah. So how do you navigate that?
It's bad.
No, like,
No, I don't navigate it at all.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think that I spend way too much time on my phone. Like my screen time is sometimes regularly like 3-4 hours.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure mine.
I'm sure some people's are way more than that.
Yeah.
So that just terrifies me, dude. Like I can't get over the fact that this is such an integral part of my life, especially for like work.
Yeah.
That's the easy out, right? So I was like, is it an easy out for you? Can't you just be like, well, no, I have to be on the internet for work, or you just don't even care for it?
So I think I've had a very up and down relationship with social media and the internet. Like there have been points where I've been like, I can't do it. You know, mere se nahi hoga. But now that I see that it's also like a prereq for existing in the industry, I try my best to be active, but not to the point where it affects my own well-being. Like if I'm just like, okay, today I've had too much screen time, now my phone's gonna be off for 5 hours, or okay, I'm deleting Instagram for a month, you know.
Some people must have tried to sell Baji as being like this big media thing.
Yeah.
Was that did that ever come into it? Like, oh, so I have to make Baji into a what do you call it? Like an actual sellable thing.
A lot of brands did approach me and they wanted me to do all kinds of things, and I was just like, no, because this is Baji and you can't have her, like she and I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm not doing sponsored work for Baji, because I mean, I'll do shows with Baji because that actually allows people to witness Baji, but just I don't know, I hate capitalism and I have to exist in the capitalistic system, so I'm just like, how can I salvage parts of myself and still make it out alive? So I have to choose my battles. Yeah. So I try to save Baji as much as I can from brands. And if I do work with a brand, I don't let them script any of the material. Like I'm just like, no. Yeah. So... But they do try. They're like, nahi, ye kehte hain.
Because they must be like, oh, you just put a video out every week.
Yeah. And you're like, no, like Baji's busy. She's doing her thing.
Baji makes a video whenever she wants to make a video.
Yeah. Which is not often.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember there are like big gaps in Baji's.
That's like when I'm not on Instagram. Like 3-4 mahine, bas I'm just gone. Sometimes I just post and delete Instagram. Like bas post karke bas delete. So, have
you seen that meme of the helicopter flying away from like destruction in the background?
No. Okay. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
So just that, and I don't know, I can't wait to see the psychological effects that social media has on our generation and Gen Z. Terrible. Like abhi kuch saalon mein reports nikle, it's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be bad, yeah.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be unprecedented, and we're gonna deserve it because we don't consume mindfully. Consumption isn't just about food. It's about what you consume with your eyes and your ears, and we are consuming this on the daily with no thoughts. Just here we are. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Let's end on a positive note.
Yeah, okay. So
can you take me through your gratefulness routine at the end?
So 5 things that you're grateful for. What are those 5 things today? They can be anything.
Okay. And I can even use, I'm grateful for my family. Yeah. My hands. Yeah. My eyes.
Your eyes. 2 more things.
Imagine if I just count. No, let's do actual ones. My family, my friends, my hands. This conversation.
Yeah.
Imagine if we just end it like this on a really depressing note. I'm going to cut it here. Yeah. Like,
what is the 5th thing? Tune in to find out.
Yeah. Being alive.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's like the biggest one.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
I am grateful for the ability to be self-aware. I'm grateful for my privilege. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. And I'm grateful for time and its ability to change things. Yeah.
Nice. Christopher Nolan is also grateful for time. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Thank you. Okay, cut.